Hi, my name is Chris Holton Zublonsky, and it is my great joy and privilege to serve you as your minister. This is Praise After the Earthquake in Haiti by Alison Luterman. This thin sound of singing floated up from under the building, which was pancaked on its cheap foundation. Port-au-Prince, hell's aftermath, bodies laid out in rows covered by white cloth, loaves of death bread for spirits to eat. 100,000 buried overnight in hastily dug ditches because of the heat and the smell. So no one believed she was really alive. This girl trapped under the rubble for almost 2 weeks, until a worker heard tunes issuing from twisted rebar and stopped, petrified in disbelief. She was still singing when they pulled her out. Skinny as the edge of a sickle moon, I watched from TV in my living room as Darlene Etienne, age 16, was drawn forth from her living tomb, caroling hymns in Creole. How many mornings have I struggled to hush the voice in my brain saying you will never find a place in this world? How many years wrestled the weight of imaginary bricks that would pin me paralyzed to the bed, but this girl sang herself through the closed door of the grave, and it opened and she rose. A miracle. Praise the light. Praise how I hear her voice deep in my own heart now, a thin soprano pulsing with longing. I love this. This is, in part, how I feel almost every day in this strange time. As the sickness spreads, as my family goes a bit stir-crazy, as the unknown stretches out, we are in the storm. We are in the wilderness. We are pulling ourselves from the wreckage over and over. And my prayer is that when we are pulled out, we may sing. As many of you know, this is Passover for the Jewish people. Passover is one of my favorite holidays. There is an elaborate Seder in which the liberation of the Jewish people out of Egypt is told. We're actually doing one virtually here at the church. Check out announcements for more details. But in the Seder, you think about freedom, you think about history, you think about peoplehood. You think about the cost of freedom wandering in the desert. You think about the promised land, about the goal of all that wandering. But by far, my favorite thing about Passover is this one song, Dayenu. It's a fun song to sing, even in the transliterated Hebrew, partly because you repeat this phrase over and over and over again. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. And as the song gets faster and faster every verse, so that you're racing through it at the end, it's very fun. But the meaning of the song is wonderful too. See, Dayenu means it would have been enough. And the song is a catalog of all the amazing things that God did for the Jewish people in the story of Passover. One verse says that it would have been enough if you had delivered us from Egypt and had not carried out judgments against them. Another says, if you had parted the sea and had not taken us through on dry land, that would have been enough. Another, if you had given us the Torah, but not brought us out of the land, not brought us to the land of Israel, that would have been enough. The whole story is told again through this playful, wonderful song. And Dayenu is alive for me in two ways. This is a time of overwhelm. There's just too much change, too much suffering, too much unknown. So I feel an overwhelmed kind of Dayenu, that it would have been enough if the sickness had spread as it has. It would have been enough to be separated and sequestered in our houses. It would have been enough to be inscripted as homeschool aides to virtual teachers on top of working full-time jobs. It would have been enough to fear the spread of the sickness for each cough and tingle and sore throat to bring catastrophic thoughts. It would have been enough to witness this much death, this much suffering. I feel the Dayenu of these days in this way. And there is also the other side. After all, the Passover story is about people rising up. It's a story of resilience. It's a story of people making a way through a trying time. It's a story of community, strung together, connected, making a way. And so I feel the opposite kind of Dayenu as well. It would have been enough to have landed with my family in this beautiful church, with this amazing staff and these wonderful leaders. It would have been enough to have created these neighborhood unity groups, bringing people together, helping us make it through. It would have been enough to have Nate already be a filmmaker with digital film editing experience, to have Ian already be skilled in video editing and digital sound editing as well. It would have been enough to have this powerful love at the center of all that we do, welcoming us all into deeper connectedness, deeper purpose. It would have been enough to have Mark and Nancy Davis bring a little trampoline over so that my kids could bounce and burn off pent-up lockdown energy in a way that doesn't break my house or stress me out. It would have been enough for this quarantine to come during mango season, with amazing, juicy, ripe, perfect mangoes, my son Ben's favorite food, waiting for me every time that I run the gauntlet of grocery shopping. It would have been enough for this time to come during spring, with the tree in front of our house bursting into a riot of blossoms, covered as if to remind me over and over that we will make it through, that beauty endures and will bloom despite the news. This is the other Dayenu, and I am so grateful for this season, for Passover, for Easter just around the corner, for this opportunity again to rise. This is from Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons, like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Do you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Dear First Church, this is what we do. We rise. Again and again, we rise to the occasion of these days, day after day. And the best part is that when the rising is difficult, when you feel like you have nothing left, it is not from your own energy alone that you rise, but rather you are held by me, by all of First Church. Loving hands helping you up, loving hearts holding you, making a way forward, making a way through together. Amen.